Hey guys, this is Shawn Sandridge. Thank you so much for clicking on to my channel. Happy Friday. And I was uh, getting my mirror situated and not planning on it. I'm thinking, I'm giving everybody 1990s soul to soul, back to life, back to reality. That's what I was thinking. Anyway, so happy Friday. Short week for a lot of people. The weekend is starting. I'm working, so it doesn't really matter for me, but I hope everybody has a good weekend. And I've got this for you guys today. Look at this wonderful concoction. And I came up with another thing right before I was turning on the camera. I was like, man, I should do something for Fitness Friday like Justin J does when he's gonna roast somebody. You know, he always when he turns on the camera, he says, you already know what's going to happen. You already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on and it's going down. So I was thinking I should have something funny and spoofy and just kind of light-hearted for Fitness Friday. So we're going to do Fitness Friday chit chat. And this is a long-awaited video. Oh, bonus video. I've already done the recording and it is for you. It's for you guys. So I have the green smoothie. It is the Dr. Oz 28-day shrink your stomach challenge. And this is from his challenge. It is called the Veggie Flush. And it's quick, it's easy, and it is a smoothie. It's not a juice, it's a smoothie, and you can have this all day long. It is not a meal replacement. It is an addition to your meals, and it's low in calories. I put it in the video, and I will be uploading it along with this one. So it is not going to be a long video because I really didn't have anything planned, but I knew I wanted to talk about it, and I just thought I'm just going to talk about it. And if you want more information, I will be more than happy to give you some. So take my glasses off. So this is a requested video from a long time ago, so I want you to know I didn't forget. And it was a request about my journey into being a vegetarian and a vegan. So I have a lot to say about it. Good things to say about it. I have a lot to say about it, but this is just a quick story about my journey, how I got there, and what I learned, and where I'm at now. So it's going to be a very condensed story. So I started my journey about in the 90s. I was in the military, and I was actually in Europe, in England, and I started mainly because, as you know, who's been watching me, I've done my Fitness Friday video about diabetes with my mom. And so I was on my quest to learn about health and all that stuff. So that's really what got me there. And I really want to know how to be healthy and what I could do to not get diabetes and things like that. So I got a phone call, and my phone, the camera cut off, so now I have to chop it up. I like doing direct uploads, but I won't be able to do that today. Have you tried these out? I know it's backwards. It's called Brad's raw crunchy kale. They're kale chips, and I normally get the vampire killer ones because they are garlicky, very garlicky. But these are called Naked Sunflower Seed and Cashew Vegan Cheese. So I'm going to try these out and let you guys know how it goes. Because I don't feel like eating them right now. So it's early in the morning and I don't feel like eating kale chips. So, okay. So back to the video at hand. The long-awaited requested video is about my journey being vegetarian. And again, I'm gonna ramble because I was talking and then the camera cut off. So this was in the 90s. I was in England at the time. I was in England from 1988 to 91, and I had a friend who was vegetarian, and we got to talking, and I kind of liked what she was doing. Now I'm going to give you some history. I'm very grateful that I had adapted the vegetarian lifestyle in Europe, because Europe was very much fast forward. We're much more forward thinkers about food and health and all of that long before the U.S. Now, and just to give you a reference, in 1988, 90, 91, when I was there, I learned about GMOs. I learned about pesticides. I learned about Monsanto. I learned about all that stuff that people are just starting to talk about now. No one knew. People in the U.S. never heard of Frankenfood, or how they were splicing seeds or doing the seeds with farmers and manipulating the seeds with the crops to offset the bugs, which in theory sounds really good, but when you're messing up with the ecosystem and the biology of things, there are costs, and we don't always know what the costs are. And I learned all that in Europe. We're just starting as a nation to be more aware of our food, where it's becoming mainstream. And back then, being a vegetarian still had the connotations of being, crazy. And, you must be one of those hippie bean sprout people. And how are you going to get your protein? Which was always funny to me, because when you learn about protein, you realize that we get way too much anyway. And how are you going to get your food? No one ever asks people who live off of junk food, well, what about your nutrients? Well, what about your macros? No one asks people who have bad diets or was seemingly, poor eating habits. Well, aren't you worried about, your macronutrients and how you're going to get your iron? No one says that to people who are munching on potato chips and popcorn and drinking soda all the time. No one does that. But someone who says they're vegetarian, all of a sudden we have many scientists and armchair nutritionists trying to tell you what to do and how you're supposed to eat. But I digress. So I didn't bring it. I put my purse in the office. So back then we didn't have Google, so you had to look for stuff, and you had to actually read your information, go to the library. So the first book I read, which is, I guess, the Bible of learning about vegetarian. I mean, anybody who embarked being a vegetarian, especially during that time, everybody had read this book, and it's Diet for a Small Planet. I'm probably getting the titles mixed up because I don't have my notes, but it's by Frances Moore Lappé. The book came out in 1971, and it's been revised, but she kind of started the whole thing about how you combine foods and beans and rice and things like that to get your complete protein combos. So Frances Moore Lappé, she talked a lot about how eating meat impacts the planet. And then John Robbins, who came out with a book when I was embarking my journey, which is Diet for Small America. And John Robbins is the son and the heir to the Baskin-Robbins ice cream empire. And Baskin-Robbins was huge, at least where I lived in New York. I think it's a regional thing in that part of the world, that Baskin-Robbins was a huge ice cream conglomerate. And he walked away from it, and he talks about his journey. And then I read The Mad Cowboy, which was during the time that Oprah got sued by the cattlemen, but making the comment about her never eating a hamburger again. And he was a cattle rancher, and he became vegan, and he wrote a book, Mad Cowboy, and I read the book No More Bull, and now he is a staunch vegan activist. So I read a lot about health and nutrition, and when I went to Korea, even making small changes at the chow hall was really difficult, because I was trying to do a meatless Monday before Meatless Monday was in, and it was just a matter of, can we just have meatless options? Like, do you have to put meat in the spaghetti? Can you just have sauce? And then that way I can just have that. I was really trying to give everybody options, not just myself, but saying that you can do meatless options and it doesn't have to be an inconvenience for everybody. So I helped make that change while I was in Korea, and that went over really well. They tried it and didn't seem to harm anybody. And then later on, I became vegan for about 6 months, and that was, I think, maybe a few years ago. So I did that for 6 months, and I enjoyed it, but I found it very difficult when you're out and about. Now, I will say this. It was great being vegetarian in Europe because they had a lot more options. My mom used to send me care packages of rice milk and things like that. And there wasn't a lot of options back in the 90s as there are today. It is amazing. It is very easy to be vegetarian today. And if you're good about prepping your food, cooking your food, and things like that. Where I am now is that I'm not vegetarian, I'm not vegan, but I really adhere to a plant strong diet, a plant-based diet where meat is there. Sorry, guys. Where you do have meat, but I really try as hard as I can to have a lot more veggies than I do meat. And a lot of times I won't eat meat in my meals. I still do my meatless meals. And I don't do a lot of meat substitute. My one kind of guilty pleasure is the spicy black bean burger. But everything else, I just try to do plant-based and the least amount of processed food as possible. So that's my diet. I will say this, vegetarians are not inherently healthy. I always have a joke about, I had friends who were vegetarians and I never saw them eat a vegetable. They just ate everything that was in a bag, processed. Well, that's not healthy. And that goes for vegan. I mean, yeah, you can eat some vegan cookies, but you need to cook your food, you need to prep your food, you need to eat healthy. And vegetarians who can live off of cheese, they're not always your best resource to adopt a healthy lifestyle. So I know I'm rambling. I'll have something better next time. I lost my train of thought with all my interruptions, but I wanted to get the video out because I will have a more serious video for you next time. So enjoy your Friday. I gotta go to work. Take care of yourself and each other, and wait for that bonus video. Bye.